Hi everyone, good to be back since 2 weeks ago. So again, for those who don't know, independent publisher connectors are Power Platform connectors that can be submitted by anyone for use within our platform, right? So if you're tired of building custom connectors and not having an easy way to share them or having to import them into each environment, this is a great way to kind of get that connector out there, get your name and the product, so on and so forth. So since last call, we've had one new connector published, the AccuWeather connector by Ahmad, and 4 new connector submissions, 3 coming from new independent publishers. So it's pretty exciting, and one by Troy. Troy, I see you on the call today, so hello. And Troy submitted a SpaceX connector, which is really exciting. So we have a total of 16 connectors in production so far, and 20 more coming in the pipeline. So one of the updates I wanted to share is we had a couple of bugs in our certification pipeline, but we're getting them all fixed definitely by the end of the week. So next week, all normal things will resume and we'll get your connectors back into the direction of production. Also, I know Hacktoberfest was talked about multiple times during the call, right? Because this is a GitHub repository. I've already added the topic of Hacktoberfest. So if anyone's looking to submit a new connector or add functionality to any of the connectors that we have in that repository, you're more than welcome to. In terms of the leaderboard for number of active connections, Airtable is still number 1, HubSpot CRM still number 2, and Jira Search by Paul is still number 3. So it's exciting to see all those and the usage there. And just wanted to call out the independent publishers again. Ahmad, Daniel, Duke, who is new, Martyn, Lesbirel, who's joining the call today to provide an awesome demo, who's built 2 connectors, Michał Guzowski, Matt Beard, Nick Brown, Nirmal, Paul, Rui, Troy, Vivek, and Woong. So it's really exciting to have all these folks publishing such great connectors. And I wanted to also say a huge congratulations to Troy, who submitted 12 connectors, which is a lot, definitely our biggest contributor so far. So congrats, Troy. And just to refresh on, how you can become an independent publisher, step 1 is building the custom connector, right? If you want to collaborate with somebody else, you're more than welcome to as well, or revisit one you've built in the past, add functionality to an existing one. If you're stuck on what connector you should build, you can always go into top connector asks in our wiki in the GitHub. Step 2 is preparing all the artifacts you need. So there's 3, the Swagger, API properties, and the README MD, which is used for documentation. Then you submit the artifacts, make sure you add in screenshots that the connector works into your pull request. And then you follow through with comments during certification, right? So certification can take anywhere between 2 weeks and a little bit longer, depending on the number of times we have to go back and forth, just to make sure everything is working so that your connector can get full adoption. And then step 5 is to show off your connector, right? So I've been doing a number of YouTube recordings. Martyn and I have one tomorrow morning, morning my time, afternoon, evening Martyn's time, and being able to be in the blog and have other spots, just having your name in the product and your connector out there. So it's pretty exciting. And you can always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about the program. Martyn, over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to share the right screen. Hopefully you can all see my screen now. It's obviously the Microsoft Platform connectors, repository in GitHub. All of us working on the independent connectors live down here. I'll be showing you this one today, the UK government bank holidays. This is a very small, very simple custom connector. The UK government provides a website which gives you a huge chunk of JSON which lists bank holidays for you. This is quite useful as bank holidays have a tendency to move date each year. So if you need to check on them, sometimes you need to not work off just a day in assumption, but what it is for that particular year. The other strange thing for me, it actually is this value of bunting, which is probably the most bizarrely British attribute I've come across in JSON. Bunting, if you don't know, is that string of little flags you're meant to get out for celebrations. So if you've ever wanted to know whether or not you should be getting the bunting out or not in the United Kingdom, this can tell you. Anyway, as a demonstration today, we're going to be starting off with a form. This is fairly simple. It's just a form, a bit of text, and you select date. And in this case, overexcited employee selects the 25th of December, which if you were quick, you would have seen was on a Saturday. Clicking OK, that goes into a flow. And then eventually, once the flow processes the request, we should be receiving an email telling us we don't need to take that off as holiday, as it's either a weekend or a bank holiday. Now, the normal reaction is to make another request again. Got excited when we look, okay, the 25th is a Saturday, let's just take the Monday off, because we want to have a long weekend over Christmas. Wait for the response again. This time, you don't need to take it off. The reason for that is because Christmas Day falls on the Saturday, the actual Christmas Day holiday in the United Kingdom is bumped along to the Monday. So the 27th is the Christmas Day holiday, not the 25th. So, assuming a date which is neither a weekend or a bank holiday, you will be told you can have the date off. This is all fairly simple stuff. It's done by this flow. Now, if any of you've looked at flow templates, you'll immediately recognize this. This is the simple flow form to email template, adapted a little bit. Okay, so we have form response submitted. Get the form details, and quite literally all the bank holiday custom connector does is allow you to fetch the holidays for the kingdom. It literally returns one large piece of JSON. This is what the government gave us. It's a bit disappointing, but I'm hoping to look into splitting that up via the new code for code it in connectors option. Now the next step is to literally just grab only the England and Welsh holidays here. We then filter the array, looking for a date from the English and Welsh holidays that matches the date that was submitted with the form. And that will give us an array. Fairly simple there. If there's nothing in the array, it's not a bank holiday. If it's one, then we've found a bank holiday. This is getting the day of the week as an integer. The day of the week function will return a number representing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whatever day of the week, as a numeric value to you if you use this. So the user submitted their day request. We just find the number. That's because down here, I'm actually setting the variables to represent Sunday and Saturday. The reason for doing that is here in this selection, it makes this a little bit more readable. So if you have an instance where the number of bank holidays is greater than 0, or the day of the week is equal to Sunday or Saturday, then we send a not required email in terms of taking that holiday, and we've got the responder's email from their form submission. If it's not the case, and they can take the holiday, we'll send an approval message. Again, using the responder's email address and a slightly different message. Now, the example is almost a bit trivial, but the idea is to give you some idea of how you could build on this. This flow could be extended, so you could do such things as, when a request is submitted, get the username, find the person's manager from the AD, and send an approval request off to that manager first, before the user is told they can take the holiday. Within my company, I loaded this connector up into our tenant colleague who's written a substitute Scrum system for us, which consists of a form was sent each morning to tell people what we're doing with a normal agile Scrum, what we did yesterday, what we're doing today, do we have blockers, put the answers in, we send it in, it gets attached to a Teams channel. That now doesn't bother sending us those forms on a bank holiday. He's checking with this. In our parent company, it's also being used for a round robin for call allocation within that company. So calls submitted on a bank holiday are put into a special bucket to be dealt with, rather than being allocated out when no one's actually working and giving someone the potentially false impression that a call may be getting dealt with when it isn't. That is pretty much the UK government bank holiday connector. There's not a lot to it, but it turns out to be quite useful. People tend to quite like it when they suddenly realise they can check on bank holidays.
Thank you so much, Martyn.